Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On today's video, we're going to get into our 6-foot bush hog gearbox here and see if we can fix it. Hopefully fix it for very inexpensive, or maybe we have to replace the whole thing. So come along. So if you watched last week's video, you saw that I was mowing things quite nicely and then it just stopped. And you can see here, turning the PTO shaft, we're not getting engagement with the rotary mower. Now there's actually something there, it freed itself up. It's not the shear pin. Some of you guys had suggested maybe it was the shear pin. Right here's the shear pin, it's still intact, so the input shaft is still spinning into the gearbox. But some of y'all, and I appreciate the input, take all the input I can get, said, hey, take the cover off and see if there's a key, input shaft key that protects the gear. So maybe the key is sheared. I'm hoping that would be the case. I don't think it's going to be, because when it stopped mowing, it made some really, really bad noises. So if that key came loose, then maybe it even went in there and shredded the gears. So we're going to open the face up here, pull the shaft off, of course, then open the face. But over here in the box, I actually have the replacement, $144 replacement. So let's see if that's worth anything either. I want to make sure it's the right one too. This is one of those nondescript, generic, I think it's WAC, World Agricultural Corporation type bush hog, 20 plus years old. But let's get this apart and we'll see what's going on in there. There's a chance, and I won't admit to it, that the shear pin is probably a little too heavy a grade to bolt. Joint. Sounds crunchy. Well, shoot. Bearing is garbage. Goodness. A little dry too. That's not good. I believe we are pushing our luck. All right, let's go handheld and see if this will show up. Bearing, yeah. She came apart. And yes, the comments should and would be very appropriate to point out, Troy, I don't see any gear oil dripping out of that. And I would say, yep, that thing's dry as a bone. So I don't know if it was leaking below, underneath, and I never saw it. But just goes to show you what regular maintenance will catch. Okay, so this is the gear, the main drive gear. See the teeth? And then there should be a gear that engages 90 degrees under there, and I can see it. Get my light positioned here properly. But the problem is, There's no teeth left. There's nothing to engage. So I think we've come to a conclusion here. All right, since we've got a multitude of things working against us here, obviously I broke a bolt off in the housing at the lowest position, of course. So that's problem number one. Bearing shot, so that bearing would have to be replaced. And of course, drive gear is just gone. So all of those together, I think breaking the bolt off would have convinced me to swap it out. $144 part, all the time and labor to try to put this back together. I think it just makes sense to swap it out. Now we'll just have to see order of operations to get this thing off. I'm going to have to lift it up, position it in a way that I don't kill myself if it would fall, and be able to, I got to remove the mowing disc, the actual rotary disc, castle nut, all that stuff, and take that off just like I did previously when I put the blades on it. And then I should be able to get access to these 4 bolts, and hopefully those can come apart without breaking. So we'll put some penetrating oil on those as well. All right. Well, I think I found out where my shaft oil, gear oil went. I think we had so much play in this that it was kind of one issue kept making the other issue worse, because this is all covered in gear oil. So it was leaking out of the bottom and I just didn't see it. So that's why she went dry. But and I'm embarrassed to show I don't have a wrench big enough. I cannot find. I had a huge crescent wrench and I cannot find that thing, so I had to use a pipe wrench to get the castellation nut off, which is bush leg, but oh well. Oh, that thing is stout. Just a little bit of slop in there. That's a problem. So that's why she leaked gear oil, and of course just causes it to wear even more. You see these bolts, these are the 4 nuts I got to remove from these bolts to be able to get this gearbox out. So I'm going to try to get these cleaned up, because I have to reuse these. These are not replaced with the new part.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely trashed the bearings. So fortunately, it's Liam's day off today, so Liam is here. Say hi, Liam.
Hi.
All right. Hi, Liam. Just like your mother. So he helped me, obviously, because we had tough to be on both sides of the deck of a 6-foot bush hog when you're taking those bolts out. So he helped me with the impact stuff. Oh. All right, this one comes with a new castellation nut and cotter pin, shaft, all that type of stuff. So hopefully what we're dealing with here is not anything other than just a replacement. Looks like shipping went pretty well. The protective sleeve took a couple hits, but I guess that's why they put the protective sleeve on it. Castellation nut looks good. Let's see if she bolts up. Aw, snap. We in business. Man, that is awesome. Hey, Liam, if you would, those bolts we just took off, take apart one of them. You keep the 2 washers and the nut, and you hand me the bolt. Yeah, they'd be the hot ones. That's what we're looking for. All right, that's good enough. So let's start on what would be your 11 o'clock. So let me get in position first. I'm going to push it towards you a little bit. Okay, go ahead. All right, that's good. Hold that. Yeah, hang on. Let me get it ready. I got to push it back toward you. All right, do it. All right, hold that. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is called a castle nut. Can you give an idea why it's called a castle nut?
Because it looks like a castle.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole purpose of the castle nut, what makes it different from any other nut, is that these castellations allow you to put this cotter pin in here. So I just bent that straight so it comes out. So we want to save that. Okay, so this is nice and threaded. We want to make sure we don't booger that up. And you can see this is a spline on this output shaft that lines up with the teeth of the rotary disc. So what I'm going to do is to help with, since this comes in contact with grass, it's always going to be down on the ground because it's not like I store it in the air or anything like that. We're going to put a liberal coating of grease on it. Grease is our friend. Okay. All right. I like new parts. So what we want to do is we want to tighten this down, but we got to make sure we line it up so that the castellations will allow the cotter pin to go through. This is absolutely the wrong tool to have for this, but I can't find my big crescent wrench. Well, should we just hook it up and run it, or should I check and see if there's any oil on it? Yeah, you know, probably should check. What do you think, Liam? Should I check? Yeah, that's the problem when I do me. This is why we end up having to repair stuff all the time. Troy's middle name is not maintenance, that's for sure. And that is a problem. I'll admit it. Just said that he's shipped dry. I figure they would ship dry, wouldn't you? Yes. Dry. Excuse me. Never gets old, does it? Actually, it does. All right. We're going to have to buy more before we run that. Maybe Cam can get us some on the way home. All right. So we got it all back together. Now, I will say, if you put these side by side, this gearbox, the old gearbox, is a lot heftier looking. But this is a 40 horsepower gearbox. And I have a 35 horse tractor, but it's my understanding that that's going to work for what's the name of the company? Agri Supply said 40 horse works up to a 6 foot bush hog, and that's what I have. I think it's 6 foot, or maybe it's 5 foot. I think it's 5 foot. I don't know. Anyway, so that should suffice, but we'll see. We'll see. We're not going to run it yet. When we have Cam bring us some more gear oil, because when we get that filled up, it was shipped dry. And I got everything greased nicely. Got the shaft greased and reset. So yeah. So I'll catch you guys when we actually spin it up and see how it goes. All right. So the next day, and oh, goodness, Kelly got me some more gear oil here. And if you're wondering what's all over the deck, I ran the planer yesterday afternoon. And the output for my dust collector blows it this way. It's like an inch of snow. I believe that's full. All right. Get her out here and spin it up. All right, so I got everything in the front done now. This is holding up really well. It's just barely warm. It's warm because it's been in the sun, I think. And the oil leaking on the deck is where I overfilled it. But it's crazy how quiet it is. It just goes to show you, when you do maintenance on things, things work the way they're supposed to. Crazy, I know. So now I want to finish what I was starting last week over here, the pig pasture, And then if the diesel holds out, probably I'll go on back and do the retreat. So let's get a bird's eye view of that and I'll show you what we're doing. All right, so I got the retreat mode and realized I came all the way back here. All I have is my camera phone and don't have my mic, don't have my tripod, got nothing. I'm getting low on diesel, but I got everything mowed. I'll mow a little bit on the way back, and also just downloaded some stuff from my trail cam. May make a video and just show you guys who all's been visiting in the last year. A menagerie of wildlife has come through, to say the least. All right, well, that turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with how that replacement gearbox did its job. So total out of pocket, I think the actual part was $144, $145, something like that. And I think about $20 in shipping. So total out of pocket, $160 something. I'll put the number right here. And then of course, 1 quart of gear oil, which was $10. So with under $200, I was able to get that thing up and running again. And I believe if I can keep from running over stuff, goodness, over here I hit rocks is one thing, but I hit a whole big section of woven wire. I have the slightest idea where woven wire came from on this side of the property. Had to be from the previous owner, which has been 20 plus years ago. But motor seems to find it. So if I can keep from tearing it up with hitting stuff like that, woo, hole falling, then I should be able to get quite a few more years out of that. Really happy with how that gearbox worked out for us. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. I pray you all have a great week. Take care.